So when Minecraft, when you first released the beginning parts, I don't know the full story of how this went, but the first time I did hear it, and I don't remember it all, it was very interesting. So you had released this on forums and kind of shared it very early in the stages. Like, how is that different from what we usually see where you go, even with indie games, you're buying a finished product or finished-ish product, but your product was out there that people could play and be a part of and give input, like right from the beginning. Like, why did you even decide to do that?
I think Cortex Command was an inspiration for that, and also roguelikes, which are really nerdy, like text-based games. They kind of do really early releases and kind of keep doing releases. They're usually free, but I just charge for mine. Like, here's a not finished game, it is gaming. Yeah, so that's
the answer. So like, okay, now you see a lot of this Kickstarter funding and Indiegogo, and these are ways that people are getting their games out. When you had done yours, it wasn't quite like that, but it ended up being kind of the same community spirit. How do you think people should go about developing their games? Do you like that model, the community-driven model, to come out with a product that people don't actually know even what's coming out with?
I think it kind of depends what type of game you're making. For a game that's very sandboxy like Minecraft, it fits well to release it early because it can kind of keep iterating adding features. If you do a very story-driven game, you can't really release it earlier and kind of keep iterating on the story because people will get tired of the story after playing it a couple of times. Yeah, so it definitely depends on that. And for Kickstarter, I think it's a bit of a risk when the products get too big, because then you're not really sure what you're kind of paying for. So it's important when you do chip into a Kickstarter, you don't see it necessarily as an investment, but more like almost charity-like, like this is what I want and I really like these developers or something. Because otherwise you might end up being disappointed eventually. But so far, the stuff Kickstarter have all been good, so I've been lucky.
What are some of your favorite projects that you funded, just personally?
Oh, there's so many. Well, the Maya game looks amazing. It came out as a new Elite game. The Wastelands 2 is fun one. Of course, the Oculus Rift is going to be amazing.
So you really believe in this model, this crowdsourced model, but how much, see, you have taken and allowed the community to have input in the game from the start, right? Like, they were able to buy a very, very early version, but then you actually took their input and then put that into the game. And we still kind of have that spirit at Mojang, that the community does know what they want, and you can't take every suggestion, but you'll take many of them. Like, how do you think that is going to develop games different from a team of, people who are making those decisions internally in a box?
Well, I think it's important that you differentiate between just doing what the fans tell you to do or just getting feedback. Because I think it's important, or it's a personal opinion, I think games should be made by the game developers and that you should let them make the decisions and make them make mistakes in the game, because then the games are a much more personal experience. I'm not really sure I believe in the idea of crowdsourcing the game design. It might fit for some games, like if you're doing like an esports game or something. But in other games, I want to see more of the personalities behind it.
I do feel like if you have too many ideas from too many places, and what you end up with, because you can only take the general consensus things, you'll have a very homogenized product. It's just kind of like,
yeah, this is true.
You'll only get like the core of everything, and you'll never take any risks. So with Minecraft, right, 1.0 came out just over a year ago, and why did you decide not to continue as the lead developer when you passed it on to Dennis?
Well, I think mostly because I tend to get really bored with things after like 3 years. So, like when I worked at King for 4.5, that's the longest I ever kept a job. So, I think I felt like I had expressed the parts of the game that I wanted to express, like block building and all that, and now it was more an iterative process, and Jens was doing such an amazing job at that already, and he was much better at actually like working with the community. I could sometimes feel a bit threatened by like community mods because they were doing things better than I could do it. I kind of went, no, it's time to hand this over to Jens and try to make a new game.
So, like, how do you feel about the game now? You know, when you look at it, I mean, I played the game that I haven't played heavily for over a year. And when I look at videos, like that video that Hat Films made and all the new features and things, it's amazing how far it's come. Like, when you look at that stuff, like, how do you feel with your sense of ownership versus where it has gone?
Yeah, I'm very impressed with what you're doing, actually. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes I hear about like new features on Twitter or something. I haven't seen it in the office. But I think Jens has this really interesting ability to make like procedural houses and stuff that actually feel interesting to me somehow. And I kind of wish I could do that. So it's very fun to see it happen.
So what's your favorite part about what you have done? Like from back in the beginning? Like what's the thing you're really proud or happy about?
Oh, there's so much. I think, like on a technical standpoint, switching the game over to kind of infinite terrain was a huge deal. What else? Well, the lucky accident of the creeper is a good one. It's very iconic.
It is
a pure accident.
And what did it explain that accident?
So yeah, all the models in the game I made as code because I can't use like 3D software. So basically, box here, box there, box there, and I tried to make a pig. And instead of making it long, I accidentally made it tall. So it was a really tall pig with like 4 tiny feet stuck together in the middle. And it's like, that is very creepy looking, and that's where the name came from.
That's actually the story of how that happened.
Yeah.
So then how did you decide to make them blow up?
I don't remember the actual process, but I think it was inspired by some animals in other game, but I don't remember the actual process. It was just like the playing around with it and just making it explode was kind of, I don't know, it seemed to fit the shape of the character somehow.
So, you know, the game has gone beyond a game now. It actually has. It's changing what some people even do for a living, right? We have all kinds of YouTubers who are here this weekend and they make their entire living off of doing content for the Minecraft community. You know, like, what is that like? Actually feeling the extent of your vision going out there.
Well, that is kind of the true Minecraft. I kind of feel like I made a game, and then the community kind of made the community around the game, and the combination of the two is kind of the true Minecraft. So it's way more than just the game I made about just chopping rock kind of silly. Because, for example, creative mode is not what I wanted in the game at all, but it's in the game because a lot of people use it. And then the people doing really cool mods in the room, doing really intricate stuff like abusing bugs and redstone so we can fix it. But it's turned into something much bigger and it's very impressive. But it's very fun to be able to be part of that.